In America, we love the idea of the self-made success story, the bold entrepreneur, the confident leader, the visionary founder. But sometimes, the loudest person in the room isn't the most capable. Sometimes, they're just the best at taking credit. And this is the story of how one man built an empire on borrowed talent, and how it collapsed in less than 48 hours. 3 years ago, I was working at a fast-growing digital agency in Austin, Texas. We were a tight-knit team, grinding on branding and web development for healthcare startups. The only thing missing was strong creative leadership. Our founders were great at business, but not design. So, they hired a creative director. Enter Evan Mercer. He had the sharp suit, the polished resume, and claimed he'd worked with major Silicon Valley players. He was confident, charming, and articulate. But right away, something felt off. Evan couldn't use basic design tools like Figma. He didn't understand web development concepts. He once asked if HTML was a design plugin. At first, we thought he was just a big-picture guy. But it quickly became obvious he didn't understand digital design at all. Yet, somehow, he always positioned himself as the visionary. When a client loved a prototype, he'd say, "I pushed the team to elevate the concept. If a campaign did well, it was my strategic direction." Meanwhile, we were the ones working until midnight, rebuilding entire websites because he'd approved technically impossible ideas. Deadlines were slipping. Developers were rewriting code at 2 a.m. Designers were redoing entire brand systems because Evan had promised clients features that didn't even exist. And every single day at 5 o'clock sharp, Evan would stand up, grab his briefcase, and say, "Great progress today, team. Let's keep pushing excellence." Then he'd leave, and we'd stay. One time, he told the client we could launch a complex, secure patient portal in about a week. It actually took us 6 weeks of frantic work. He built it under executive creative oversight. This is where the story gets really interesting. We entered a national digital marketing competition. A project I led, a full rebrand for a telehealth startup, was selected as a finalist, and we won. At the awards ceremony, Evan went on stage to accept the trophy. In front of hundreds of industry professionals, he said, "I'm incredibly proud of the team that executed my vision." My vision. I watched the live stream from my apartment that night, and I started updating my resume. I stayed for another 8 months. 8 months of watching him exaggerate timelines, take credit for our work, and get away with it because leadership valued his industry relationships. Finally, I resigned. They tried to convince me to stay, but I knew something they didn't. People like Evan don't just collapse. They overinflate first. Sure enough, 2 months later, I saw his LinkedIn update, founder and CEO, Mercer Digital Strategy. His tagline was elevating healthcare. Brands through visionary digital leadership. I almost laughed. He'd launched his own agency. I clicked on his website, and there it was. My work, entire case studies, screenshots of interfaces I had built, even copy from proposals I had written. The award-winning project was front and center, presented as his signature success story. He hadn't even bothered to change the layout. For a moment, I thought about confronting him. But I knew he'd just spin it, claiming his guidance counted as authorship. So instead, I sent a short, professional email to one of the founders of my old agency. I just said, "Just wanted to make you aware that Evan appears to be using proprietary company work to market his new competing agency." The response came in under an hour. Forward the link. 10 minutes later. Thank you. Legal is handling it. Within 24 hours, his portfolio page disappeared. Within 36 hours, his entire website was offline. And within 48 hours, his LinkedIn headline changed to stealth mode. Word spreads fast in our industry. It turns out, when your only real skill is confidence, you eventually run out of other people's work to hide behind. 6 months later, I heard he was just consulting independently. No agency, no portfolio, no mention of any awards. Meanwhile, I joined a great product company in Seattle. Smaller title, but much bigger impact and real leadership. And that award-winning project. It's still listed under my name. What I learned is this: you can sell an image, you can network your way into the right rooms, you can fake authority for a while. But in the digital world, your work leaves fingerprints. The truth is always there, version controlled, talent whispers, ego shouts. But in the end, results speak louder than both. For more stories like this, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.